Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the December 31st Raw Review and Happy New Year. This is the next day, this is January 1st, 2013. Now I have to say, I wasn't sure how I was going to perceive this Raw. Because this is the last Raw of the year, literally. About 1 hour before the New Year ran around, Raw was showing. Well, not saying it was live or anything, it doesn't really matter if it was or wasn't. The point of the matter is this, that I wondered how are they going to end this season, this series of Raws. As a sense, even though they don't have a 3 or 4 month cycle like some other shows, they just go 1 year to another. This is their end of the year show, so how was it? I was thinking it was going to be crap. But I can say in this show, it wasn't that bad. There was some good things in it. Of course, it was just some cheesy and some terrible things. But let's go through it. Miz TV segment with the show of... How can I say this? Still having Cody's mustache be over is one thing. But having John Cena stare at it like he's a dumb void, I don't know what to make of it. It's a mixed bag right there because I'm not sure if that was a good thing or not. It may seem a bit funny, yeah, but I'm not sure if it really got over enough. The segment in the ring wasn't too bad. I would have liked to see the Rogue Scholars win this, or at least I would have liked to see The Miz get over. This again is what I say. If you're trying to get a face over, no matter if he's going to be in the mid-card or if he's going to be in the main event like The Miz looks like he will be. The thing that happened like in the SmackDown where Sheamus was the one who got over more than Alberto Del Rio was stupid. Alberto needed to rub more than Sheamus did, even though Sheamus isn't doing well at all. This was about Alberto on SmackDown. Like this Raw, we're trying to get The Miz over. He's working with Cena. Not a bad thing. No matter how you feel about Cena, you needed someone who's the head of the company give a rub to someone who's trying to do a face turn. But the problem is this. The face turn did not work that well because they didn't prominently feature The Miz enough. They didn't. And now that they are featuring him, they're featuring him wrong. At the opening of the show, we now have Miz TV. A type of gimmick can be overplayed and completely become irrelevant if it's seen too much and the person doesn't have enough material to work with. The Miz is at the fringe of that, or he has gone over the edge. I do not believe Miz TV is special anymore because of how they packaged it. Now that it's opening the show sounds like a great thing, and it can be to a point, but I don't believe it's been done well. And then this match between Miz and Cena versus Rogue Scholars, The Miz should have been the one who should have got the win. John Cena didn't need it, particularly what happened at the end of the show. He didn't need the win. It was The Miz who needed to win. And The Miz, even though he got his arm raised by Cena, got him to go to the other ring post with Cena trying to promote him more, Cena did not need that win. It was The Miz who should have got the stone-crushing finale done on either Cody Rhodes or on Damien Sandow. Should have been done, and it wasn't. So I was not pleased with this segment. The party during the night was not bad. My Naomi looking, oh my, whoa, damn, she looked good that night. In those curvy clothes, no matter if she's wearing a billy sack, Naomi, Trinity, McCoy looked good. She just shined more than any of the other women. And except for one, someone we don't usually see maybe once a year. Our Mae Young. I'm sorry I messed that one up. But you know what? It's kind of hard not to mess up seeing that Mae got pregnant and Mae popped out a hornswoggle. Dude. Seeing Hornswoggle be popped out with a cigar in his mouth with the top hat, that is from the old school Baby. If no one doesn't know what it was like back in the early 20th century, back in the year 1900, when they started doing this little thing, doing like, pretty much, I think it was 1910, when New York started doing the ball drop. I could be wrong if it's 1910, but at 1910 is when New York started doing the ball drop. They started doing a drop that essentially people came from around the world to see the ball drop and then loved New York for it. The Little Baby in the beginning of it was sponsored back around that time. A little before it, and even more prominently featured a little afterward. Having Little Baby with the little hat, sometimes with a cigar, most of the times no. Hornswoggle is what represented my New York, baby. But still, oh my goodness, seeing Hornswoggle dressed in his tighty whities, getting a kiss from Mae Young. I have to say I wouldn't mind getting a kiss from Mae Young because this lady knows a lot. She's been through the business. She can play high role with anybody back in the day. But who doesn't love Mae Young? It's something you just don't forget. Like I said, the party wasn't so bad. Several things were set up during the party. I got to see my Naomi, which made me happy. And I'll leave it at that. Now, the next section is which was a waste. Eve versus which we thought was going to be Mae Young until we found out she was pregnant. And she said it pretty much again. This is what we got. Eve versus Caitlyn. Again. But at least I can say something better was done because there was no match. There was just a beat down and then it was over. I'm not saying that was great, but at least 3 things were done. One, we didn't need to see it in Washington, D.C. because we've seen this before. 2, it was a little bit of a mix-up because we usually see a stupid match that doesn't last very long and doesn't give anybody any advantage, the heel or the face. In this case, Caitlyn and Eve had something different. They had just a basic fight. A basic fight in Washington, D.C. And 3, you don't know if they're going to try and do something completely different with the Divas. We might get a last man or last woman standings match. We may get a street fight. I'm not saying this will happen, but this is something that can be, if the WWE is not stupid enough not to see this. You just did something that could potentially be good. Bring this up carefully. Make this into a real feud where 2 women who flat out hate one another get something. We could have a last man standings match. We could have an I Quit match. We can have a street fight match. Hell, would there be a surprise that WWE would actually do a steel cage match? The only people that I know of that prominently featured a steel cage was TNA year before last. Not 2012, 2011 between we have our Tara and we have our Mickie Jane. When was the last time a national shown pay-per-view, not national pay-per-view, a nationally shown per-view show, basically a TNA or WWE, has done that? You actually had that done with TNA. It's time for WWE to prominently feature their women. Come on, TNA. Come on, WWE. Give us more. This is the beginnings for WWE. This is the beginnings to try and do something. They need to do something with the Divas to just phase the damn thing out. If they do a last man standings match, a I Quit match, or a street fight, like the big boys, like the men, I would actually be interested in seeing how they're going to do this. Because neither one of these women have not even any experience in it, so it could be something potentially interesting. But this fight, even though we don't care about the Divas at all, could still go into something in 2013. Next, Hell No versus 3MB. I didn't expect this to really do anything. I did. I was kind of hoping 3MB would win, but it didn't happen. 3MB lost. Then I left it at that. The beginning, when you hear 3MB singing, I'm going like, damn. Back in the ancient day, when they talk about the Greeks talking about the sirens, they sang 1,000,000 times better than 3MB. But to each his own. Some people might have liked the segment. It wasn't bad to actually see 3MB seen. I still say this. that in 2013, the only person that has potential to do something is Drew McIntyre. I've said this before. I may actually do a debate of the week or a mixed bag of wrestling about them. So the only person that has potential is Drew. So hopefully we'll see something. Now the next thing, the let me see, Sheamus and Dolph match. Really? I didn't see any type of thing going on during the beginning of the match. I didn't see anything going on in the middle of the match. I didn't see anything going on to the end of the match until we got Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Rollins. That is the only time when it became interesting. Now, one of the reasons why I have not mentioned the Shield, and I really, a couple of times I forgot, I ain't gonna lie. Had a lot of stuff that's been going on in my life that has not been great. But two reasons why I haven't mentioned them. One is because I have actually forgotten a couple of times. Two, I wasn't sure if they were going to make these guys a strong faction. I've already seen what happened with Aces and Eights. They have gone from being here to being here to being here, and they hit the ground right now. They're hitting the ground. They're not doing good. Unless they do something on this Impact, I don't see it. Aces and Eights, unless they're going to do something revealing or interesting in Genesis, it's done. Aces and Eights flopped. It had a good start, but then it died. Or it is dying. With the Shield, I wasn't sure if I wanted to get fully invested in them, because even though Dean Ambrose does seem like the one with the greatest potential, or Roman Reigns, Rollins, he looks like he'd be a Jeff Hardy or a Evan Bourne. He looks like he has that kind of look. All three of them could be, to some extent, good if they're featured, and even though they're seen, does not mean that this is going to work. I don't know. They're doing exactly what Aces and Eights are doing. They come from the back. In this case, they come from the stadium, from the steps. It's pretty much a bite off of Aces and Eights. So I haven't been sure if I want to get invested. Now, later in the night, when you have Shield versus Ryback, I'm just getting it over with now. Seeing Ryback and the Shield fight one another is something we've seen several times since TLC and a little before. Seeing Ryback with Sheamus made it a little more interesting, but not by much actually. Main reason I would say it was a little interesting is because I was thinking I had to bring someone else as well, and I was right. Mr. Baby Oil himself, Mr. RKO, we got ourselves Randy Orton back. The thought that flew through my mind as they were fighting was that we're going to have a 3-on-3. 6-man tag for Royal Rumble. That is what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking that Ryback is going to be in the Rumble. There's a good chance he will, but I don't think so. There's a chance that Sheamus will be in there. I'm probably wrong about my thoughts, but a 6-man tag, if it's not done in the Royal Rumble, it's going to be done on Raw. This is what I'm thinking. These three have now been attacked by the Shield. So this 3 is going to be the ones that's going to be facing the Shield, at least in one match. I don't think it's going to be more than that. It'll probably be one 6-man tag. So I'll leave it at that. Alberto Del Rio. This is what I said earlier for my SmackDown and my Raw before that. The one that's going to get ADR over will be Ricardo Rodriguez. Seeing Ricardo Rodriguez get a shot at the title again, I thought, oh, come on, is this actually going to be good? And then I realized, particularly when Alberto Del Rio was with him and apologized to him, he is just the catalyst for Alberto Del Rio to have a feud with Big Show. I don't know what's going to happen with Sheamus. I don't. It's possible he's now going to focus with the Shield, but this is a good thing. Switch Big Show with someone else. Give ADR the shot, which he did. ADR went in to save Ricardo Rodriguez, kicked Big Show's butt a bit, and then left with Ricardo. Gives him the wink that you know means as an insult. And now we have a feud between ADR and we have a feud between Big Show. Fine. This is a good thing because ADR was not featured properly in 2012. He was not featured properly in 2011. Now having him possibly going to be featured as a face in 2013 and structured properly, we could have a good, if he's not going to be featured in the mid-card, which I would say is stupid, if they did this, I would love to smack the hell out of somebody in WWE. But having him as a main eventer, which I believe he will, is good because we needed a change. Sheamus didn't get anywhere. We loved Sheamus in the beginning of 2012. We loved him halfway into 2012. Then we got tired of him by the end of 2012. Now let Alberto Del Rio get over. Let him be the one to get something. And I was not a problem with that. CM Punk, make sure, yep. CM Punk with Mr. McMahon. CM Punk with his entourage of his doctor and Paul Heyman tried to justify his actual injury. No problem. Having Mr. McMahon come out was not bad. But bringing back the little thing between Heyman and Ryback for next week, wasn't sure about that. Because that probably is going to lead into some type of shenanigans that the match is not going to get done anyway. Because I'm sure that CM Punk still isn't fully healed yet. But if he is healed enough to be able to go in the ring with Ryback, fine. But I have a feeling there's going to be some type of shenanigans. I'm hoping it will be a good shenanigans. Maybe we'll have a Brock Lesnar come back. I doubt it. Maybe we'll have someone else do the job. I doubt it. But I can say the backstage with Brad Maddox, Mr. Beef Mode himself, gives a little taste of something. Not sure yet. You could say that, oh, he's trying to show that he did get help from Mr. Beef Mode. My feeling is this. After 2013 begins, I believe CM Punk and Paul Heyman are going to basically part ways. I do not think that CM Punk is going to lose the title. I'm not sure. We will know this before we get to Royal Rumble, how they're going to package The Rock. If The Rock stays, that's going to be the question. If he does stay and become champion, then it would make sense why Paul and Mr. Straight Edge is going to part ways. My feeling is this. Brad Maddox is still getting over. My feeling eventually Paul Heyman will go with Brad Maddox. I'm saying this because I really believe this is going to happen. Now if it doesn't happen, it'll be a waste. It'll be a waste for both of them. Paul needs Brad. Brad needs Paul. This will be perfect. Now, let's see. What do we got here? Anything else? Ah, yeah. 2 matches. Antonio versus Sergeant Slaughter. I marked out for that. I'm going, yeah, baby. The Sergeant's in the house with him. What's up, you maggots? With that damn chin. That man looks like a Greek god with that chin. No matter how you feel it, the Sarge has always been loved. I actually was kind of hoping the Sarge would win because Antonio ain't doing nothing anyway. But he did lose. I don't see anyone for Antonio to face. He's faced everyone in the undercard. There's no one left. Unless they're going to throw a little Jimmy at him, it's going to be basically R-Truth. And I'm bored of R-Truth. I am. Unless they're going to Justin Gabriel the belt. But then he's working with Tyson Kidd. What would be the point? Unless they're going to give Tyson Kidd the belt. Or someone from NXT. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Wade Barrett wins the IC Championship. I don't see any point in it. I don't see nothing good for Wade. I wish they had just left it. This will be the 4th time they face one another. No, actually 5th. And pretty much one time he's won, but that was in a tag team. The other 2 times he lost to Kofi, and now finally to let him have the win, which didn't lead anywhere. What has Wade won with actually having the strap? Nothing. I don't see nothing for Wade. Nothing for having the strap. I don't see nothing going for Kofi. What is Kofi going to do now? He's not going to the world title scene unless they're going to structure him that way in the next couple of months. I'll be happy to see if he can actually handle it or not. But I don't see anything here. I don't. I don't see nothing going for Kofi, and I don't see nothing going for Wade. This was a complete waste of time. You know what I guess is going to happen? Either SmackDown or Wednesday main event, Kofi's going to have his rematch, which he does have the right to do. And then he's going to win it back. Now, if he doesn't win it back, I'll be surprised that Wade's going to have time with it. But even if he does keep it, will he gain anything from it? I don't see it. Now, finally, we have the last part of the night, which is the AJ and Dolph. I can say that honesty was the best policy at the end of the show because they were going near New Year's. And for both these guys, I think they were a little bit honest. Dolph was honest about John, and John was honest about Dolph. Because when it came down to it, Dolph said a lot of stuff about Cena, pretty much we already know. And I'm not talking about how his year was. I'm talking about his character. Just before John came out, he pretty much said the truth. Been 10 years. John Cena has not changed his character in 10 years. Except when he first started. He first started as vanilla face. He went to the rapper heel. Then he went to the rapper face. And now he went back to the vanilla face again. That doesn't rap. That doesn't rhyme. Who just has a rap and rhyme in his theme song that he did about 6 years ago. No, 7. My mistake. Because that was down around 2005 to 2006. This is 2013. So essentially, 7. No, actually, my mistake. I think he did in 2006 that he changed his song. So it's 7 years since he changed his song. What have we seen from John Cena? Nothing. Now with Dolph, we got the same thing from John Cena, saying pretty much, someone always messing me up. I want something better. Push me. He said it clearly. Dolph behind has been a guy who run a golf cart. He was the one who basically was in the Spirit Squad. He dyed his hair blonde. Short time he did his hair dark. Then he did his hair blonde. Then he went to Vicky. Now he's with AJ and Biggie. He's done the same thing. No change. For all the change things he done as a change has not got him anywhere. So both these guys have not done anything even with changes. I don't see anything. The only thing I saw was about 4 things. 1, John Cena said he's entering the Royal Rumble and going to win. And then he's going to go after the World Championship. No change there. We all expected he was going to do something to try and get into the world title in 2013. Hasn't had it in a while. 2, Dolph right now has gone and done exactly the same thing as he done before. He is working with someone that's not going to get him anywhere. What I'm talking about is with AJ. It ain't going to end well. 3, we now see pretty much Dolph and Cena are still going to be dealing with one another. And I don't see anything good from it. Nothing good. Maybe they'll have a few moments, but I don't see nothing good from what was shown and what's going to be done. 4 and final, which ends the show. Seeing an old Spirit Squad moment as Dolph gets shit on him, and I believe I'm going to leave it in the title. Shit bath. That is what I'm going to leave in the title. He got himself a shit bath. That is the end of the show. Was this show a good one? For the end of the year, 2012. No. This was a show that tried to have another theme. Just like the Christmas show, and they threw a couple of things that was currently going on in Raw, this was a New Year's show, and they tried to throw a couple of things in the New Year's. Yes, they did progress a couple of things going on. Yes, they did some really silly ass stuff, but this is how it went for the entire show. So I just give this a C. Nothing really great. It's no better than the Christmas show. But you know what? They still did their best to try and make it interesting. There were some moments, especially with Mae Young. Mae Young's moment, I can't be bored with Mae Young because the woman's almost 90 years old and she still wants to perform. Most people, and me personally, I used to work at a nursing home before I got injured on my job. And I've seen people that are in her age bracket that don't even have the brain power to even know how to blow their noses, literally. And I'm not insulting anyone who's an older person watching this or who's a younger one. I have worked in a nursing home, so I know how a lot of people live and function in one. And seeing Mae Young still functional enough to do a skit tells me and makes me happy. Tells me that Mae Young loves the business, and that makes me happy. I'm sorry I didn't fill that bit in. I've been botching. I'm a little sick, actually. I got a cold. But the next thing, seeing Sergeant Slaughter, that was alright. They don't bring him out much. Seeing my Naomi in a damn good looking dress. Oh man, from the primetime players, dude, the man who had his arm around my woman. I'm not even going to say his name. Actually, I am going to say his name because he pissed me off. Titus O'Neil. You pissed my ass off, man. I like you. You have potential. But don't touch my damn woman. Nobody touched my Naomi. Except me. Or, it's someone that I don't know about. Off the Rope Show. Slick Daddy. I don't hate you, dude, but don't touch my woman. Pretty much anything else during that show wasn't that interesting. But that was the things I loved the most. So I hope you like this 2012 end of the year Raw. Subscribe and comment to Zane's View, ladies and gentlemen. If anything you liked about this show, leave a comment below. If anything you liked about what I said, leave a comment below. Just leave me something so I know what I'm doing and that you care. Because I care about you, ladies and gentlemen. I care about you. I care about you because that's why I'm doing these shows. So, have a good night.